Hey, Dr. Trevor Cates here, and it is February, which means Valentine's Day is right around the corner. And so a lot of people are talking about love. I just got engaged myself, so I'm fully in it. So I get it. We're wondering, what does all this love do to our skin? And so I definitely want to share some things with you today. There's some really interesting research out there about how love impacts our skin. So love is in the air. So let's talk about how it's impacting our skin. So I think the first thing we want to talk about is the fact that when we're in love, we oftentimes take really good care of our skin because we care, because we are dating someone. Maybe it's a new romance, or maybe it's someone that we've been in love with for a while. And that means that we're probably going to want to look good for that person. And we're just doing a little extra self care. So, of course, that is going to help our skin. If you've got great self-care, that's going to help your skin. If you're using your skincare products like the Spot Doctor Daily Essentials or whatever it is, you're using that every day, that's likely going to help your skin. But there's some other things that impact you, and that goes to your hormones. Your hormones actually impact your skin a great deal. And you'll hear me talk more and more about this because I'm in the process of getting my book ready to share with you. Natural Beauty Reset is coming out in September. Stay tuned on that. But I have been in deep studying hormones and researching, looking at the most current research on hormones, and it's been really fun to dig deep in that. And so one of the hormones that is really the biggest one when it comes to love is oxytocin. Oxytocin is one of my favorite hormones because it's released at these beautiful times where we get a bond and we get connection. We feel a sense of belonging and connection. So, the biggest example when we have the biggest surge for women is when we give birth to a baby. So when we give birth, our oxytocin levels increase because it's important for us to bond with the baby. Well, that same hormone also gets released during physical touch. So hugging, kissing, yes, sex, orgasms, all that stuff definitely boosts oxytocin in both men and women. Men don't give birth, but they do have oxytocin and they get some benefit from it too. Well, women, we have more oxytocin for good reason, right? Because we need it during childbirth to partly bond with the baby and maybe also forget all the pain that we just went through. But it's also really great to help us bond with our partner. We get more of it, so maybe that's why we get a little bit more attached quickly. I don't know. I've seen plenty of men get attached quickly too. So I don't know about that, but definitely women have more of it. Okay, so we know it's a love hormone. We know it's released. We know during touch and all these great things. But how does it affect our skin? It does make us feel good and feel connected. So that might alone might give us a little bit of a glow. But it also, there's a study, an article in the Dermatology Times, February 2021, that talked about how oxytocin, an increase in oxytocin, makes us look younger. So when you're in love and you've got that oxytocin brewing, there's a good chance it can actually help slow down the aging process. So, as you probably heard me say, I have no problem with wrinkles. I don't do Botox or fillers. That's just a personal choice. If anybody else here does that, that's fine. But I like wrinkles. I think they're signs of expression. They're signs that we've been living, laughing, and all of those good things. But we also don't want to look older than we are. And so, oxytocin, I think, is a nice, healthier alternative. Being in love is a nice, healthier alternative to Botox. So, the other research that I've seen show up around oxytocin is that it's anti-inflammatory. So when it has these anti-inflammatory effects on the body, it decreases inflammation. That can actually help skin issues. It can help a number of issues with or helping the body and overall and helping decrease inflammation. But when you think about skin, Inflammation is one of the big root causes behind chronic skin issues like eczema, acne, rosacea, the really common ones, right? And I talk about in my book, Clean Skin from Within, I talk about inflammation. I talk about skin inflammation because internal inflammation shows up on the skin. So anything that we can do to decrease inflammation is going to help our skin. So for those of you who have troubles with acne or other skin problems, being in love might be a good in your favor. And so Valentine's Day might be an extra reason to celebrate. So that's oxytocin, but there are other neurotransmitters and hormones involved that in the love process, being in love, falling in love, that impact our skin. So another one is cortisol. Now, here's the interesting thing about cortisol. Cortisol is an adrenal hormone and it helps us flee from the tiger. It gets out of emergency situations and it helps us wake up in the morning. So it gives us that sense of alertness and excitement that we need for survival. And so cortisol is a really important hormone. So when we're newly in love, research shows that cortisol can actually be elevated because it is, we're a little bit stressed, we're a little bit nervous about, is this person going to like me as much as I like them? And are they going to fall? Are they going to hurt me? Or what? All these things. So your cortisol levels could go up. Not necessarily for everyone, but I know some relationships are more stressful than others. So if you feel like you're in that beginning stage and you're just a little bit anxious, cortisol might actually be on the higher side. Now, over time, when you're in love for a while, cortisol tends to kind of stabilize. So it's not so much an issue. So here's the thing about cortisol and our skin. While cortisol is great to help us get going, get moving in the morning, we don't want it to be too high because when cortisol gets too high, then we start to get more inflammation. So it can trigger more inflammatories in the body. So it can actually worsen things like eczema and other inflammatory skin problems. But that's typically if it's prolonged high levels for a long period of time. So if you just got that new love and new excitement, a little bit of cortisol rush, it's not a bad thing. But if you are stressed on going with your relationship, well, maybe it's a time for a different partner, but also you might want to look at ways to manage your stress so the cortisol doesn't have that negative impact on your skin. So other neurotransmitters, there are some neurotransmitters that actually happen to get boosted when we are in love, when we fall in love, when we're in love. Serotonin and dopamine. These are neurotransmitters that are known as serotonin, also a hormone, but they help us, they make us feel good. They're definitely the feel good neurotransmitters. So when we're newly in love, especially, or when we're in love, when we're getting those feelings of love, dopamine and serotonin levels definitely rise. And that's what helps us feel happy and connection and all of those good things that we know falling in love. I've certainly been feeling the rush of that lately, being newly engaged. But here's the thing is that dopamine also helps, both these actually help improve microcirculation. So that might be partly why you get that glow when you're in love. So, when microcirculation happens, that means increased blood flow to the skin peripherally. That means that your skin is going to have more oxygen and other nutrients to help give it that healthy glow. And with that increase in microcirculation, that increase in circulation, that glowy look that you might have, that flushed look of being in love, that also helps improve skin cell turnover. So again, we might be going back to that whole fountain of youth. So being in love and can be maybe a fountain of youth. So thank you. I've got some congratulations here showing up. I appreciate it. Yes, it is. It's great to be in love. February is the time. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So I hope you enjoy it. Of course, using natural skincare products to help enhance your natural beauty. It's always been there. It's still there. We just help your natural beauty shine. So I hope you enjoyed this and enjoy your Valentine's Day. Enjoy your love. And if you don't have a love in your life, Don't forget to give yourself some self love because you can still get benefit from that. And with oxytocin, if you don't have someone to hug on and make love with and all of those good things, get a cat to snuggle up with or a dog, get a massage, hug a friend, hold hands with someone. You can still get a nice oxytocin boost in those other ways. So enjoy, and I will